Hello and welcome to another edition of The Big O Show. Oh, you totally left me hanging. You Cal rallied me.
It's apropos.
You Cal rallied me.
Apropos for Tuesday today.
Oh, damn.
WBC Day.
Boy, I'm going to give it back. Oh, wait till the reporters come to me. I'm going to go, Mama la pinga.
Oh,
whatever the hell it is. How do you?
Vete para la pinga.
Vete para
Vete para la
Can we
pinga.
say that on this show? You're damn right.
Actually, I think we can. 'Cause it's technically-
100% we can, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, partner?
I'm good, man. A lot of exciting things going on in the world of baseball. I know you touched extensively in the world of Tampa Bay and the loss of Miguel Evans. Mikey is gone. That hurts, but we do have a baseball season around the corner and a WBC that's action-packed, exciting. It seems like every 3 years now that they're doing it, the buildup is greater and greater, and so that's fun. The Rays are doing their thing. Another really solid outing by Shane McClanahan. We'll talk about that. Overall was positive as far as extending himself to 41 pitches. Dare I say we saw a home run by Chandler Simpson. So
wow,
that's let's pump the brakes on that. I need him to be more Arias-esque. I don't need him to hit home runs. I need him to just hit 330 and score 100 runs. But
man, I'd love to see that this year. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat of our show, that kid could lead the league in hitting. That's how impactful I think he is as far as being a true batsman, a true hitter, not just a slap guy. This guy's an actual guy that can hit righties and lefties and then flat out flies. So when you run that fast and you run into a little bit of an 0 for 3, 0 for 5, a little something, and then you hit a 3 roller, there's a hit, that most other people can't find. The last guy that was like that potentially was a guy by the name of Ichiro Suzuki that would never go in a slump because not only was he a great hitter, but he could flat out fly.
He's laying down some bunts too.
Yeah, he's laying down some bunts. He's worked hard every day. From what I'm gathering, he does 40 to 50 bunt practices.
KK didn't teach him that.
No, he didn't. KK does not like the bunt. Did not like the bunt. I wish he had, because that talk about world-class speed.
Hell yeah,
KK had. But Kiermaier is more about the outfield, and I think that it's interesting with the WBC, and we're going to talk quite a bit about that in the show today. Is that it gives a lot of opportunity for the 30 managers out there to implement a bunch of players that probably wouldn't get as many ups and arms, that wouldn't get as many innings right now. So you're seeing a lot of guys and a lot of names that maybe you may not recognize, but are getting opportunities. As far as Ray centric, a guy like Ryan Velotti's getting a lot of ups, looking good. Ben Williamson is really impressive.
How about that kid?
That kid's yoked. Is very good defensively.
Very versatile.
Can play second exceptionally. Can play third whenever needed. He's got a nice potent bat from the right side. Like what I'm seeing there. Another guy, I've been praising him all winter long and hoping that he came to camp with a different mindset as far as how he controls the zone, is Carson Williams. Carson Williams hitting 368. Of course, small sampling, spring training. Nevertheless, he's really controlling the zone better. Only 4 strikeouts. He got 1 walk.
That's huge.
So here's a kid that, I'm hoping he makes this team. The only reason that he would make this team is if you're going to use him, right?
As the everyday shortstop.
Because
not Taylor Walsh.
And well, here's the other situation that could happen. We still don't, about Gavin Lux. He's still having the side, rib injury or the oblique issue. So you could have Taylor Walls. Taylor Walls can play anywhere in the infield. The guy's one of the best defensive players in the world, right? So you can move him over to second. Now you have a super dynamic duo over there.
Middle infield, yeah.
The middle infield. But that's if Carson can stick, play, hit, right? Because he's got a lot of potential. If Carson is not going to be playing every day, they're going to send him down to Durham. I mean, just the way it is. I think Williamson could be the guy that might squeeze him out and send him to Durham possibly.
Yeah.
Because if he looks good, then maybe you do and Lux isn't ready to start the season. You do a Williamson at second, Walls at short. But I'm a big fan.
A little bit more thump.
I think the long game, I'm a bigger fan of Carson Williams being the potential star.
How about a Carson Williams, Ben Williamson, middle infield with a lot more pop?
A lot more pop
than Gavin Lux, Taylor Walls.
A lot more pop than that.
A lot more pop. Yeah. We like pop.
We like pop. And
chicks dig the long ball. So do dudes, by the way.
Speaking of pop, talking about middle of lineup, he's talking about middle infield. Our middle of the lineup is looking good in the WBC with Jonathan Aranda going deep and doing his thing. And obviously Junior Caminero has been just on fire since the exhibition games, the regular WBC games. He's looking fantastic.
He's the star of the whole thing.
So far, it's pretty much been him and then the two MVPs, because
Aaron Judge went deep last night.
Aaron Judge went deep.
Lead.
Ohtani's, already got a couple of jacks, including a grand slam. So, but Junior is kind of coming out. It's a coming out party for Junior. The next level is going to be, obviously Venezuela and Dominican Republic already advanced in their pool. In the Tokyo pool, Korea snuck in because it was a three-way tie for two, and they broke the tie, over Australia.
So Korea and Japan
and Japan are advancing. Then you have the tricky one really is the San Juan pool, where you have Puerto Rico dominating so far, up 3-0. And they're playing Canada today, and that's a huge game for Canada because Canada's 1-1 and Cuba's 2-1. So Cuba's waiting to play Canada tomorrow. Canada wins today, wins tomorrow, they're in. They just, take care of business by themselves. Canada loses today, they have to beat Cuba in order to advance. If they win today, they're sitting pretty. They still have to take care of business with Cuba because, if Cuba beats them, then they're tied at 2-2, and then the winning team on the head-to-head moves on. So it's a little complicated with the tiebreakers.
U.S. is 3-0.
U.S. is 3-0. They haven't officially moved through yet, but they're pretty much moving through.
And Scooball says he might come back and pitch again.
Oh, yeah, he did say that he might throw one more. So, listen.
That's huge.
That's massive, especially after the showing that the other Cy Young winner.
And that would be in the final? No, Skeens would be in the final. So he would be semifinal.
He would be like semifinal. If you can set up a semifinal like that, and get 4 to 5 innings from each one of those, and then go to the pen, which two of the key pen guys are Rays guys, by the way. And Griffin Jackson.
He got a big double play ball last night against Nate.
Yeah. And our boy, again, those two guys. Talk about the bullpen of the Rays. Two of the prominent guys for Team USA are the prominent guys for the Rays bullpen. Yeah. So when Uceda comes back, which he will, that's another reason that the Rays can be a very dangerous team this year if they stay healthy.
By the way, Griffin Jax, a graduate of the Air Force Academy.
That's right.
So he and Cal Raleigh, who we'll talk about here in just a minute, both paid for the Air Force team to come to the WBC on their dime.
Yeah, I saw them.
How cool was that?
That was super cool, man.
Yeah, and then of course Cal dedicating his play to the troops. I'm sorry, Paul Skeens.
Yeah.
Who went to the Air Force Academy.
Yeah, he also
as
went
a catcher. Then became a pitcher.
Yeah.
And then went to LSU, and then the rest is history.
The rest is super history.
He pitched great last night.
Super history being made because there's still a lot of history with that kid. That kid could go down as one of the greatest right-handed pitchers of all time. But yeah, he was dominating 4 innings, 7 strikeouts. And it was just, the way that Paul Skeens pitched yesterday. I saw him pitch his first outing for Pittsburgh, and he was a little bit all over the place. First outing, and he walked 4 like in 2 innings. Definitely not Paul Skeens because the guy's an incredible strike thrower at 90, hovering always around 97 to 99. and with the incredible sweeper, slider, changeup. But yesterday, man, he threw a couple of those run back fastballs that, the great Hall of Famer Greg Maddux was known for. But Maddux, I remember facing him on the left side, I was switch hitter, and he throw these ones that it would look halfway like it's coming to my hip.
Yeah. And
then it would break back inside over the plate in the inner third. But that was like at 91, 90. This guy's throwing that pitch at 98, 99 miles an hour. It's literally unhittable. And backdooring right-handed hitters. Skeens was toying with Team Mexico, literally toying with them. Though they made a gallant comeback and had a couple of jacks late to make that game interesting. Nice to see. Again, we were talking about camaraderie, and we're going to talk about Cal Raleigh and former great Randy Arozarena for the Rays. Nice to hear from the kid Anthony talk about, and he had a big
Roman Anthony
had a big blast, and he, in the interview after the game, I found it interesting. He was talking about getting a chance to be around the captain, Aaron Judge, the Cal Raleighs, the Tarangs, and some of these, great all-stars, premium players, platinum glove players. And he said, I'm learning so much, but also he kind of mentioned, like, it's not about the regular season. We'll battle, right? Right now it's about this, winning this tournament. And
they're very serious.
They
want everybody to know how
serious. And there's no issues of love lost because one's a Yankee, one's a Red Sox, etc. throughout the whole USA team. And that goes through, all the prominent, especially the prominent teams that have so many major leaguers like the Dominican Republic, who are arguably the best offense in this whole tournament. Is number one is Dominican Republic. Number two is USA. Three would probably be a toss-up between Venezuela and Team Canada. But there's stuff going on as far as the intensity of wanting to win this time around, buddy.
So let's talk about that. So the big sub story here is the snub. Yeah. We have another snub, and that's Randy Arozarena went up to Cal Raleigh in front of the crowd, kind of reached down to shake his hand.
Yeah.
And Cal was like,
having none of it, man.
Nope. We don't something to him and let Randy lean in.
I don't know what Randy said. I was watching the game, but I missed that. I was not.
It was the camera was probably away at that time.
I didn't see that
because it was as he was walking up, and I don't think it was. But it made it to social media big time.
Media, right? That's where hadn't seen it this morning, but
I haven't heard Cal's response yet.
I wonder if he'll even respond to that.
And of course, they're teammates in Seattle.
Of course.
So there's a dynamic there.
Teammates. Yeah.
But I don't think Randy left anything to chance as far as how he felt about this. So we're going to play this. Not safe for work, but many of you don't speak Spanish, so you don't have to worry about it. O's going to translate. I can stop it whenever you want me to. But so here's Randy's retort to the Cal Raleigh.
¿Cómo quiere que le responda?
No, es lo que tú nos quieres compartir.
Acá Riley, ¿cómo se lo digo? Yo se lo quiero decir en 4 idiomas, se lo quiero decir yo. En 4
Okay, so right off the bat, the Mexican reporter asked him, about the snub, and he goes, what do you want me to say? And he goes, about Cal, and then the reporter asks about Cal Raleigh. He goes, well, I'm going to tell him something probably in 4 languages, kind of joking. and then he continues on.
Idioma. Primero se lo voy a decir en español, mira. Primero, lo único que tiene que hacerle es darle gracias a Dios que tiene buenos papás, ¿no? Que sus papás están muy bien educados. Gracias a Dios, hace 2 días que los pude ver en el hotel y me fueron a saludar, me dieron un abrazo y estaban muy orgullosos de mí de poder verme otra vez.
Stop there. So stop right there. So what that is, he was going to get into like bitching about Cal, but he remembered, and this is what had transpired. He goes, well, the first thing I'm going to say is that he should be thankful to God that he has such great parents. and he goes, and I ran into their parents in the hotel, and they came to me because they're wonderful people, and they gave me a hug, and it was so sweet to see his parents. So he has wonderful parents.
And here comes the nuclear part.
A los cubanos se lo voy a decir. Es lo que tiene que hacerle, ¿verdad? Irse para casa a la pinga. A los mexicanos. Que se vaya para casa a la verga. En inglés. Se lo voy a decir en inglés. El good decision que me dijo que se lo meten en el culo. Me fui.
And the walk-off. And the walk-off.
And then the walk-off, dude.
The
That
walk-off.
was a 3-run bomb walk-off in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs. So he goes in Cuban language, because of the way he treated me, I'm gonna tell him go F yourself, right? In Spanish, which is a different literal, those that speak Spanish, that's how we say go F yourself, but it literally means go to the dick. It's the way that it's literally translated, so vete para la pinga means go to the dick, and which doesn't make any sense in English, but for
I understand it perfectly.
yeah, but
I understand
for
it
us,
perfectly.
that means get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go screw yourself. And then he says the same thing, which the Mexicans use, verga, the same, vete para la verga. So get the hell out of here with that stuff. And then it's interesting because he goes, I'm going to talk to him in English too. So I guess in English, he's going to say, stick it up your ass. Basically. That's what he's going to tell him, but then he said it in Spanish.
So this has become quite the talking
off.
point.
So this is no joke. He's pissed.
Yeah. So, this is, they got to go share a clubhouse for another.
They're going to have
6
a conversation about this, and they will.
So you had an interesting take on this because Will Smith,
Yeah.
the catcher in 23 for the U.S., snubbed somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was.
I think it was a Rosarena also.
Again.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So
And
you
the
think maybe
Team
this
Mexico
is directed by the manager?
I have a feeling that here's the thing. And again, this is a very intense tournament. It's very short, very intense. It's basically about a 10-day deal of going at it, right? 10, 12 days. And you basically are going after the title that now everybody after Japan, I think Shohei Ohtani kind of really set the tempo with punching out one of the all-time greats in the last
Mike Trout.
10 years. Mike
What a
Trout.
moment. Yeah.
What a moment. Was there basically right by the third base dugout watching that with the Consul General of Japan, and then was able to, because I had the pass for Team Japan to get on the field and celebrate with Team Japan with my background with that team, etc., and watch that sweeper. That set the world abuzz on the WBC.
Yeah.
If Shohei Ohtani keeps on doing so many incredible things and the world stage of the World Series now, 2 years in a row, all the records that he's sending in during the regular season, and then the WBC thing, it's lifted up the WBC into like, we need to just win this. And we being any of the big four, big three really countries, right? Japan, US, Dominican Republic, right? Coming in the fourth and fifth would be teams like Venezuela, Puerto Rico, right?
Right.
Those are fourth and fifth. But those three monsters are like, this is our tournament to win. Nobody's taking it from us. And I think they're that intense and that pissed.
So DeRosa's like, I don't want you shaking anybody's hands.
I don't want you shaking any hands. I'm thinking that comes back to 23. You got to add one other caveat to that. Not only is this series and tournament been intensified, especially since that 23 victory in the front stage, but they haven't beat Mexico since 2006.
That's right.
Every World WBC, Mexico has been like, psh, 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 to Team USA.
Like 11-6, I think. It's slapped.
They've been slapping them. So it's like, if there's been a team that has been the little engine that could in the WBC that never won it, it's still Team Mexico. Mexico goes deep. 2023, I was there for the semifinal game where they almost upended Japan. Yeah. Were it not for Murakami, who's going to be hitting now for the Chicago White Sox, gets a dramatic late inning, I believe it was in the bottom of the eighth, double or triple to put them ahead and come back in a dramatic fashion to set up the USA-Japan game. So Mexico is in the mix of everything, and I think DeRosa was pretty much like, I'm thinking in the dugout, guys, we're not screwing around with this team. So, but here's the other flip side of that. You have, for example, just the other day, Dominican Republic and Venezuela, knock heads, and Dominica took care of business, and they're 3-0. But anyway, they met in center field as they were warming up.
The two teams.
And literally,
you thought it was going to be Jets and Sharks.
It was. I want to be an American, and it was like West Side Story all of a sudden. But no, it was funny TikTok. You can look it up, and they're kind of coming together. There's like 15, 20 players on each side, and they stopped, looked at each other, and then they all kind of went and high-fived each other and hugged each other because they're all teammates and they're all Hispanic. But when they get into between the lines, this is serious business. Now, that being said, for the last umpteen years, it wasn't when I played, in the 80s and 90s and before that. You weren't dapping up the catcher. You weren't even. You barely was lifting your head to say hello to the umpire. You just wanted to avoid them. Nowadays,
you walk up, it's all business.
You walked up and it's all business. Nowadays, people regularly they tap the your first time up. You tap the shin pad of the catcher with your bat. Hey, buddy. Let's go to war, and you say hello to the umpire. Some guys like Shohei Ohtani will actually doff the hat to the pitcher. Let's go to war, and but the fact, so that's a commonplace. The fact that Cal Raleigh and Will Smith 3 years ago had, I don't want to shake your hand. I don't even want to acknowledge you, buddy. It's a fine line to that.
It is a fine line. So I don't want to go crazy on this, but it's I don't think it's a good look for Cal Raleigh. This is baseball. There's a lot of shit going on in the world. This is baseball. You want to be intense. You can show that in a lot of different ways. But if somebody's going to reach out to you, reach their hand out to you, you shake their effing hand. I don't, and I say, get ready for an ass kicking.
Right. Right.
Get ready for an ass kicking.
A great example is the NBA tip-off. Yeah. NBA tip-off. Everybody's dabbing up. Everybody's shaking hands. And that it's like after
except sometimes
Kobe did a few times. Did kind of avoid certain players.
Yeah. And when he would play, I guess somebody brought up when he was playing in the Olympics against Pau Gasol when they were teammates, he put his shoulder right into him and let him know. First play, let him know.
First play, he goes, "Hey, I'm going to set a pick and come." He had the guy come. He had the guy come at him, the center, and he goes, "I want you to come with me." And then he shouldered him with a pick and got a foul, but he wanted to make a count. That's different. I'm actually okay with that.
That's after I shook your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm actually okay with this. Aranda gets up. He was batting second, and he comes up and tries to, just say maybe not the handshake. The handshake might be a little much. I don't remember handshaking at home plate.
Yeah.
But, Cal
dap him up.
Cal could have dabbed him up, or Cal could have given him one of these. Let's go, buddy. All right. Give him a smile and time to play. Right. And then the very first pitch, throw it right at his chin. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
First pitch, you go, Skeens, let's wake up our boy Rosarena here and let's get him off the balls of his feet.
There's something like, I'm not asking you to initiate it, the handshake, but if someone initiates it in sportsmanship, you shake their hand.
Yeah,
I do. That's just the way
you move on, and then you try to kick their ass.
Right.
I'm
always going to play hard. I'm going to play as hard as humanly possible.
Yeah.
I always want to win. I don't need to not shake your hand to show everybody that I want to win.
I'm going to tell you
I'm going to show you the way I play.
I'm going to tell you this. There is a massive impetus. There are two teams right now and I interviewed Carlos Pena, former superstar for the Rays, in Dominican Republic when I went over there at the beginning of the month when he was general manager of Escogido during winter ball, and I asked him point blank the question, "What about Team DR and the WBC?" And he goes, "There is no second place." He literally said, "We have to win this." USA, there is no second place. So there are two teams in this tournament that, if they make it to the finals and lose, this has been
a disaster.
Complete disaster.
I'm okay with that.
So there's a lot of shit going on with this WBC with those particular teams. Japan has won it enough that they could be like, Suma-san, we did our best. Puerto Rico would be like, oh man, we almost got there. Venezuela is a gallant try. You know, we got to the finals.
Not these two teams.
Not those two teams.
I get it. But it'll be something that's really talked about. It's not the end all be all.
And by the way, those two teams, bracket wise, can face each other in the finals.
It's going to be. It's already just the intensity of this. The crowd last night for USA Mexico was unlike any baseball crowd I've ever seen in my life because there's always something buzzing. It was probably 50-50.
It was.
So it was. Someone was always cheering.
Yeah.
You know, normally you don't have that.
Where it's at. It's in
Houston,
Tejas.
Yeah. Which is
not Texas.
Which used to be Mexico.
Tejas.
Which used to be Mexico.
So there is a lot of Tejanos.
So we took it. Yeah. They're taking it back, evidently.
Yeah.
Evidently.
Yeah.
So interesting stuff. Good chance now to say thanks to our sponsors, Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel. If you're looking for a good steak and a great atmosphere and super service and people that actually care about the quality of the food, this is the place to go. There's lots of places you can choose to go. I choose to go to places that are expertly run by our good friend Tyler, and that's Texas Roadhouse, Wesley
Comfortable food at a comfortable price, great location. I was just there the other day, and phenomenal service. And I can't say enough about that. That company on a whole, there's 8 of them all around our area. But that one in particular at TRWC is the special one and the one that's winning awards.
They do a great job over there. And as they do at Genesis of Tampa, the Murphy Auto Group, and March is a special time for them because if you go in, especially this week for St. Patrick's Day, all week long, they're doing stuff. Wear green, buy green, save green. You wear green at Genesis of Tampa on St. Patty's Day, which is March 17th. You get $500 off any vehicle in stock. You buy anything green.
What?
That's green in color. You get $1,000 off.
Holy cow.
Also, buy a vehicle March 14th through the 17th, and you'll be entered to win a trip to Ireland or to the Emerald Isle to drink all the great beer, the Guinness, drinking the Guinness. It's mother's milk over there, you know.
That makes sense because the owner of Genesis is Mike.
Yeah, Murphy. That's right. So everybody's going to Ireland to play golf and drink Guinness. Let's go.
Can't be more Irish than Michael Murphy.
Let's go. So always something going on over there, and great community partners as well at Genesis.
Phenomenal community partners, phenomenals. You know, again, another one of those places that have incredible service, but also have the big 3 that they push, and that is not only the customer, community, and charities. And if you research this group, the Murphy Auto Group, you'll find that they're involved in so many things, including Gray Bull, and with all that's going on in the
Gray Bull Rescue. Yeah,
Gray Bull Rescue is massive.
Yeah, they're donating portions of every sale to Gray Bull Rescue this month as well. Always doing great things in the community. So thanks to our sponsors in Kingmakers Tampa, where we are coming to you from right here. This beautiful studio right here at Kingmakers can also be yours. If you become a member at Kingmakers, go to kingmakerstampa.com and get all the information. We got a sports bar. We got a great golf simulator here, a shared office space, private office space, a great boardroom. So you can be yours. Just go to kingmakerstampa.com. All right. So
I did want to mention one more thing in the WBC today.
Yes,
today is a really interesting matchup, and that is the matchup between Puerto Rico and Canada. Why? Puerto Rico is solid. They are, already in. So they kind of are sitting pretty in that San Juan tournament at 3-0, but they play Canada. Canada's 1-1. Colombia's out of it. Panama's out of it, right? But Cuba's still in it at 2-1. They're waiting to play Canada tomorrow. So what this means, JP, is that if Canada wins out, if Canada can beat Puerto Rico and then turn around, they'll be 2-2. They'll be 2-1. And then take care of business with Team Cuba, as I call them, Team Communist Cuba. Then they move forward. But if they lose today to Puerto Rico, then they're in a position they have to beat Cuba and still can advance because of having the head-to-head come into play. So it's a really tricky situation. Cuba's sitting back waiting for their last game. Canada still has 2 more games to go. And Canada has kind of been, talk about teams that has talented players, but they haven't move forward in the last several WBCs. They've come up short out of the first pool play, notoriously. So it's going to be very interesting. If they win today, then it's going to be a head-to-head. It's going to be the biggest game, of the tournament tomorrow, to see who is that final, who gets that final rose, if you will, to move forward and come on down.
All right, let's talk a little Rays baseball here. Shane McClanahan yesterday had a pretty good outing, his second outing. He gave up a home run, but 27 of 41 pitches for strikes, 3 strikeouts. What are your thoughts on Shane's?
Solid. Listen, the main thing is that he got up and down, twice, really 3 times when, start the game, go down, come into the second, finish that inning, start the third, got an out, came out, 41 pitches, 27 strikes, solid ball to strike combination. He looked pretty strong, gave up a homer to Johnny Peck, who's, in fact, I don't believe Johnny's got any major league time yet. Don't start with me.
Johnny Peck, what?
Peck. It's just Peck, his name.
Johnny Peckerhead?
No, it's just Peck. I think he is a great grandson of Gregory Peck, I believe is what he is.
Gregory Peckerhead?
Yeah, there you go. So no big deal there. I think he has to be happy. I think he was happy. The signs that you look for, again, is to expand and kind of stretch him out, to get into that situation where he gets to the next time out, he can get into
maybe 60 pitches.
I was going to say anywhere between 55 to 60 pitches, stretch him out a little bit, hopefully get into like 4 innings. Then you're almost to the point of, this is what the regular season is going to look like, which is, trying to get him to be able to pitch a solid 5 innings per outing. If you could do that, that would be phenomenal. The other thing that you look for is, how's his balls and strike scenario? How's his command of his pitches? Is he walking a lot of guys? It wasn't, 27 strikes, 14 balls, 1 walk, only 3 hits. One was a little cheapy spring training home run.
Hit 96.3.
Yeah. So, and again, I'm not even that worried about his velocity right now. In fact, quite the contrary.
Yeah, he's throwing like 85% effort, which is where they want him.
Yeah. No, just nice and easy. And then the other huge thing. So the top things are, did he get stretched out and get into the 40s? Yes. Was he throwing balls and strikes? Good strike, zone. Did he give up a lot of, big hits? No, just one, that big home run. That was it. Okay. Gave up a few runs. Don't worry about that. And then here's the key. How does he feel today?
Yeah.
How does he feel tomorrow? It's the recuperative things of, that's when the Rays really go into play here, where your trainers and your rehab of post throwing that big 41 pitches. Let's see how he feels today, when he responds to the media, and more importantly tomorrow, because now you're going to start seeing the wear and tear. And if he feels good, body feels great, I'm not worried about his mind. It's all about the physical. The physical will affect his mind, believe it or not. If he's feeling good, giving up a couple, 3 runs while you're throwing strikes and stretching yourself out is a huge positive for the Tampa Bay Rays.
So as we look at spring training in general, and now we watch the performance of the Rays players in the WBC, obviously Junior's just taken over.
Yeah.
Aranda has hit a home run, came up in a big spot last night, struck out.
He did.
But that's okay. I mean, this is all part of it for him. He's coming back from injury. Let's not forget that.
Well, but he's pretty much recovered, because he came back at the end of last year, and that was huge for him to feel 100%.
But still, we want to see him, we want to see him get to 160 maybe games this year and play the full season and see what we could get. Because that's, this is the future.
He's a catalyst. Yeah. We talked about it before a couple of weeks ago, how important Jonathan Aranda is to this offense, because you already have the established Yandy Diaz. He's going to give you that 300. He's going to give you clutch RBIs. He's going to give you long at bats to, work the pitchers. It's the keys are going to be, can Junior Caminero, duplicate what he did last year? Holy cow, he's looking in such good shape. The bat speed is so dramatic that, dare I say, it should be status quo from what he was doing last year, if not better.
Right.
controlling the zone better. Because remember, he was like a 260, 263 hitter last year. Could he possibly hit 280 or 290 and now become even a more impactful hitter? And then there's Jonathan Aranda. You need, those three to really be the glue. They are the glue. And then it's the other six guys around him. I'm not so concerned about Chandler Simpson offensively. In fact, I'm not. I think those are the four monster hitters. It's really the Cedric Mullins of the world, the Jake Fraley's of the world. Where does a guy like Ben Williamson come in? That those are the guys that that you're hoping to get some further pop from.
The Rays are playing at the Twins today. Steven Matz is pitching 2 2/3 so far, a couple of strikeouts.
Yeah.
No earned runs. He's gone with 42 pitches, 28 strikes, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
He's a veteran. He knows how to prepare himself.
Yeah.
And hopefully, listen, the thing with Steven Matz is going to be he's kind of put the ball in play kind of pitcher now, in this level of his career. So that's where, and I think Eric Neand, the exceptional GM that he is trying to set up the best defensive team that he can put out there, especially in the spine. The spine being catcher, second, short, center, right? A healthy, which I'll tell you something, Cedric Mullins looks like in phenomenal shape, right? So
he's playing today, by the way.
He's looks
0 for 1.
He looks fine. And if he is the old school Cedric Mullins, he's an above average to great center fielder. Fortes and Fiducia are really good defensive catchers. One's a left-handed hitter, so he'll be playing against righties, and the other one's a right-handed hitter in Fortes. So, and then it's going to be short and second. Juniors come in with a modus operandi of like, I want to vie for a gold glove. Talk about lofty goals, right? If he's playing above average, now you've got a great third baseman. That Jonathan Aranda is a solid first baseman, if not great, because this guy could play second, he could play third. So that means a lot to Steven Matz this year, because he's going to put the ball in play from the left side, a lefty, try to get more ground balls and give a chance to win some games by putting the ball in play, pitching the contact, as opposed to having a team that maybe is not as defensively minded. That hurts a guy like Steven Matz.
Gavin Lux is playing, by the way, today.
Good.
His first
action. Excellent.
0 for 1 so far. Fraley's 1 for 1. He's in there for Fiducia playing today. Simpson, who's hitting 455 this spring. He just got
with a jack.
Walls is playing shortstop today. DeLuca's in center field.
I forget Johnny DeLuca in the mix of all of this.
We kind of forgot about him.
Yeah. And he's looking good this spring, and he's got to get some playing time, but it's going to be tough. Against lefties, you figure that you're gonna see Johnny maybe pop in right field. I just don't mess with Chandler. Chandler's got to show me that he can't play the outfield in order to be out of that lineup, because I'm not gonna mess.
And he wasn't terrible last year.
No, but if I'm me, I want this kid to get 500 at bats, man. He's just so dynamic. So how do you get 500 at bats? Playing every day.
Got to play every day.
And he can hit lefties. So it's not a problem about, okay, well, we're going to sit him against a tough lefty. No, run, baby, run. So let him go.
He's 5 for 11 so far this year. I think it was Will Simpson that hit the home run yesterday, not Chandler, the minor leaguer. So we have another Simpson.
Oh, it was another Simpson.
It was another Simpson. Yeah.
Okay.
He's 5 for 11. I think he's got a couple bunt. He's got at least one bunt base hit.
Dude, he's been practicing the bunt regularly.
Base, yeah.
I love that. And also, I just feel like if we could get to a situation where you could have at least 1 through 4, maybe 5, be kind of a set lineup, pretty much.
What?
That would be,
every day the same lineup.
That would be kind of cool.
What Rays are you talking about?
That would be cool.
So Simpson.
Yeah.
What's your go-to lineup right now?
It's Simpson, Randy.
Yandy.
It's no Randy. It's Simpson, Yandy. Then I go Jonathan because you go lefty. Then you go Caminero, and then you go Mullins. Those 5 can hopefully be, regulars. Then Fraley, you kind of sit him against some lefties as he struggles. That's where a Johnny DeLuca can come in, a Ryan Bellotti can come in. Maybe even a Williamson can come in, and then you pretty much have, Lux, Walls, whoever's catching.
Yeah, and we look forward to a Carson Williams,
possibly
maybe Ben Williamson.
Yeah,
at times.
That's where you mix.
Where you get a little bit of pop.
You're getting you need a little bit more pop. Then you go there. But the top 5 should it'd be kind of cool to see the top 5 be the same for day in and day out. I mean, they seem to be the people that you want in the top 5 right there. That
could be fun. As we look forward to these guys growing up and Carson Williams becoming, I mean, if he's a power hitting shortstop, which is what he projects as,
sure.
And you get a second baseman like Williamson who can, and then Taylor can be that utility guy that you just in late inning defensive replacement.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you got that guy at third base hitting 45, 50 home runs. Hell, he could hit 60. He's 22 years old.
I mean, I'll just be glad. I'll be happy with him popping 40 again, raising his average, maybe 20, 30 points and getting into that 280, cutting down on the strikeouts, just be overall better hitter at the plate. Because what does that create? Run production. So remember, you don't have to hit 60 home runs to drive in more runs. You could hit 40, but then all of a sudden you're hitting 290 and hitting more doubles and hitting at a 310 risk, with runners scoring position and just hitting bullets from right field pole line to the left field pole line, and you drive in 120. What the big number should be for him is, again, to be in that 110, 120 and runs batted in. That's the key. Homers are sexy, but it's how good are you slugging? How good are you risping? That's the key. And then you got Jonathan Aranda, who I think is just an all-around hitter. He's a guy that I think Jonathan could hit 30, but more importantly, hit well over 300.
Yeah.
And spray the ball around and hit with runners in scoring position. You get the same thing from Yandy. Cedric Mullins is going to be I think more of the question mark as far as are we getting that old school all-star caliber Cedric Mullins from yesteryear of Baltimore Orioles from just a few years ago.
All right, let's hit a couple of comments if we can, my friend. Alejandro Noriega says, good afternoon, fellas. Rest this with the way that Junior is and Aranda are playing. Does this give us insight into the season? Also, this helps their case for long-term extensions, which Ken talked about on Friday.
Yeah. It's interesting that he mentions that, because we definitely mentioned the most glaring long-term extension that's probably going to be happening sometime by maybe even during the season. Who knows? You know what I mean? But most likely they're probably going to get through the infamous CBA and that whole thing. There's no massive rush to tie up Junior, but it's Jonathan Aranda, that you could just go ahead and tie up, because he is coming in. He's a little older, and he's already has more time under his hat, so he'll be coming into arbitration and jump up into the multi-millions. So it'd be interesting to see what they do with a Jonathan Aranda who's 28 years old. He's just coming into his prime right now. You want Jonathan Aranda to be a Ray for the next 5 years of his prime, offensive potential.
Well, they showed him at the Little League World Series in Mexico with Alejandro Kirk.
Oh, really?
They've been best buddies forever. That was a good pick.
Yeah.
Michael LaRue asks, who's going to be the Rays starting catcher this season, or will they handle it based on matchups and who's on the mound? I think you just answered that, right?
Yeah. You got lefty Fiducia, who's got a little pop. Not doing much so far in spring. I think he's hitting under 200. And then you've got the righty Fortes, who doesn't have great pop, but can handle a bat a little bit. Neither are going to, wow you offensively,
guys.
But they're both really good defensive guys. And they've now come to be around this pitching staff for a good amount of time, most of last year, to be able to really know these guys.
Yeah.
That is the key. And not only know the guys that are on the, depth chart roster, but the guys that are going to be down in Durham that you're going to be bringing up, they're already kind of familiarizing themselves with them.
Right.
So I can't say enough. That's why I always say that the best managers are catchers. How important it is to have, a field general. And, oh, by the way, Kevin Cash was basically Fortes and Fiducia in his career. So he really gets it. He understands the importance of having somebody that he feels comfortable, that can communicate, can catch and throw really well, but can also call a game and can communicate with his pitching staff. That's massive. I think one of the reasons that they didn't want to rock the boat just yet with maybe going after, JT Realmuto, or trying to rush, a Keegan or a Bodine, who don't know the staff very well. Those guys have to be kind of like, bled in. Dare I say, if there's an injury or something, of course, then these guys come up.
But right now, that's
the combo.
The future. Yeah, no, like get those guys better seasoning for sure. What else we got here? Alex Nunn says, I want to say how much I appreciate the Big O. You probably don't remember me, but me and my nephew met him a few years ago. Absolutely love this guy. Excited for Rays baseball in our future.
Man, that's nice. What's his name? Alex
Nunn. Yeah. Good
All
dude.
right, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alejandro. I appreciate it. Listen, it's good to be back in the area after spending some time with my team, the Cebu Lions, who are, oh, by the way, one of the hottest hitters in the WBC is Sosuke Genda, one of my good buddies. And arguably, I put Genda and Taylor Walls as 1-2 best defensive shortstops in the world.
Wow.
That's how good Sosuke Genda is. And he's come out hitting because they're like mirror images, except one's American, one's Japanese. Sosuke can't hit worth a lick. Neither really in the big picture of things does Taylor Walls hit a whole
have their moments,
heck of a lot.
though.
They have their moments.
Yeah.
And interestingly, but Genda is just a wizard, bro. A wizard defensively. So once again, he's manning the middle of that team, Samurai Japan.
And
But,
Ito, the pitcher.
Say again?
Is it Ito, the pitcher?
There is an Ito, yeah.
Yeah, it's done well. And
the guy that I'm loving is this guy named Shuto. He's a center fielder, fast as all get out, and he's hitting about 600. But thank you for that, Alex, because coming back into the Tampa Bay area after being away for a couple years with Cebu was it's been a lot of fun.
It's good to have you back, brother.
It's good to be back in the area.
Alejandro also says, speaking about the interview from Friday with Ken Babby, which was perfectly done by you and JP, how do you feel? I wanted to ask about your thoughts on the interview in total and what we are most excited about. Well, we broke news with the Tampa Bay being on the road jerseys. They got to return that next year. So they're trying to pick those jerseys out. They look pretty cool. So we're excited about that. I personally, I thought it went fantastic. I think one of the things I really wanted to get out of that interview was, some meat and potatoes. Asked them about payroll, asked them about, how quickly they're going to be more competitive. Yeah. And basically said it'll be incremental. They'll be over 100 million this year for the first time. And they'll incrementally get better and better. And then, and how he's, they're going to pour the money from the Raysville project into the team, just like the Braves do. And their payroll is $260 million. Imagine if we can get to that. Ooh, that would be outstanding.
You mentioned that when we were with Ken, and I hadn't really realized
it's totally doable.
But I didn't know that they had gone up to that level.
Yeah.
I thought they were in the lower 200s.
The Braves revenues last year were $765 million. They're the only ones where we see their numbers because they're publicly traded. I think there's one more, but they did a 185 in their local television revenue.
Right.
And then the battery revenue.
185.
Yeah.
That's solid.
It's a lot. It's a lot. They have big viewership, obviously. I mean, if the Rays can do half that, dude, that's
like a good mid-level, lower, mid-market is 75 to 100.
Yeah.
185.
Yeah,
you're creeping up to the Nesson and the Yes Network.
Well, listen, if the Rays, they're putting together their network right now, if they play it correctly, and then they go out and sell it.
Yeah.
The key is to sell it.
Right.
But you're getting the type of ratings that they're probably going to get if they play good baseball.
Yeah.
They're always the first or second highest rated show on cable every night they're on in this market. So not broadcast, but total on cable. And now you got all the streaming. It's, they have an opportunity to make a lot of money, and they're going to pour all that, not all, but a significant portion of it back into the team.
Right.
Which is something we've always wanted, which means you can keep the junior Camineros, which he
Exactly.
said we want him to be the face of the franchise.
Arandas, the
keep these guys instead of, we watching these young superstars grow up. Like we knew Randy eventually was going to get traded. We knew David Price was eventually going to get traded.
Well, no, but
those
here's
days
the thing.
are hopefully over.
For a while, the David Prices and the Shields and the Zobers, they were at least making it to 6 years.
Right.
5-6 years, and we were actually paying them arbitration. The arbitration and numbers have gotten so higher that they kind of pulled back the reins, and they weren't even allowing players to get too deep into arbitration.
Yeah, they were jettisoning them even earlier.
Jettisoning them at year 4.
Yeah.
So you can think of so many.
Caminero ain't
Diego Castillo, Castillo, year 4. Randy Arozarena, year 4. Willie Adames, year 4. Year 4 was like, that's it. We're not going to be paying this guy $5 million. So it's even become more ridiculous because of the fact that,
hell, we're paying Nick Martinez $13 million. We're drunk spenders.
We're going to see what's going on with that one. But and I hope Nick, veteran pitcher, I hope we get 10 wins out of him. But to answer how I felt overall, my thing that I came away with most prominently, the couple of things. Number one, transparency that we're getting. Availability and transparency
and authenticity
that come, all three of those go hand in hand. You need to be available. You need to answer the questions. You need to try to be as transparent. Was not getting that for many years with the other ownership. It was a lot of wishy-washy, and we'd like to do this and we'd like to do that, and maybe we might go to Montreal. Maybe we might stay here. So yes, control yourself, breathe. It's very important. So the transparency of like, this is our goal. And then the second thing is how seemingly like ready they are to find whatever the funding is going to be needed, JP, towards actually doing this, right? And also maybe it might be 55% of it. It may not be a 50-50. It might be 55. It might be 60. And it just seems like they're willing to play with that. So you could be talking about 1.2 billion, 1.3 billion from the Rays side.
Right.
And that's what I got out of it. And I'm going, that's a heavy lift, but they seem to be, in. That was never the case on the flip side.
Kidding me? That's why it's going to get done. By the way, there's another public meeting tonight at 6:30 at Jefferson High School.
Home of Freddie McGriff.
Yes.
Home of Tino Martinez.
I have a Lightning game tonight, so
Luis
I cannot
Gonzalez.
attend. But we totally.
And Pop Cuesta. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Cuesta,
Number one that should have been mentioned of the home of is the great
Lou Maggio. Did you forget about the great?
Wow, Lou Maggio. But really, Pop Cuesta, who I saw the other day at a Tampa Jesuit game. I love you, Pop Cuesta. You are
legend.
You are a legend of the Tampa Bay area here. God bless you.
So 6:30, everyone is invited. I highly recommend you go out and go just to support Ken Babby.
You really should.
And hell, you might get opening day tickets out of it. He gave away a few pairs last time.
2 different ones. And extremely informative. So you can get a lot of things out of it. You don't have to ask questions, but if you're in the area and you got a couple hours,
walk up to the mic, say something sweet to Ken. Tell him you don't.
If you do that, tickets, you might get tickets. Yeah, you do that, you might get tickets. That's the way to get tickets.
I should not be promoting it.
Yeah, right. Everybody that has to take a question now is going to be like, yeah. So thanks for answering my question.
JP said I could get open.
JP and O said that we could get opening day tickets. That's
not what we're saying.
I have it right here.
I'm just
got
repeating what happened.
Yeah, it's right here.
At the other one.
It's on their podcast. Yes.
Alejandro, you're going to have to come find me because I will not be doing my regular Jumbotron tonight because it's Women in Sports Night.
Yeah.
And Elise from Fox 13 will be filling in for me tonight. Elise Wick, wonderful. She does a great job. So
cool.
I'll be helping her out a little bit, but I will not be on camera. But I'll be walking around as I usually do, partner. You know where to find me in the post-game show, so come say hello.
Bolts turned it around here recently?
No.
Oh, shit.
No, they're
Damn, I was hoping. It'd been a few
They're
days.
Civ right now.
It'd been a few days since the last
They
bad
cannot-
report you gave
I
me.
mean, they did. Well, the game against Buffalo the other day was absolutely phenomenally entertaining. But damn, it was. They gave up. They had they scored 5 straight goals to come back from a 4-1 deficit and take the lead. Then had the lead again by 2 in the third period, and then gave that up. Gave up 3 straight.
What was
goals.
the final?
7-6.
Wow.
No, 8-7. 8-7.
Wow, 8-7 hockey game.
Over 100 penalty minutes and 15
Wow.
goals. First time that's been done since 1986.
Jeez.
Since 1986, since I graduated
40
college.
years.
Last time they had 100 penalty. There were fights. There were goals. It was incredibly entertaining, but that's not the type of game John Cooper wants his team playing.
No, that's not.
Buffalo's a really good team. We might see these two in the playoffs. So
Are they still the Sabres?
yeah, 7 games of that I'll take. Yeah, it was very entertaining.
Good. I watched them many moons ago when they were at the Odd.
All right, so get out to Jefferson High School tonight, and then tomorrow night they're going to be at the Skills Center in Tampa.
Is it back-to-back nights? Like
Yeah,
that?
they're going back to back.
Dude, listen,
So-
they're like they're like in the NBA right now. They're just going back to back.
No, they want to get out there. They want to see
No, they
people,
do,
so
man.
support them.
They do, and there'll probably be some more beyond that. So, but these are the 2 that are scheduled. Support it. Get informed. Ask questions if you want. But I think it's extremely interesting to hear them. And every time they're going to have a little bit, further news and further developments as they go, because this is a work in progress. And as we've said before, and your good friend Fred Ridley said, this is a heavy lift.
It's a heavy lift,
but
yeah.
they're taking it on.
Committed to it, and they do want some support from the locals. They would like to see a little bit more support. I think we all could use that, so let's do that. All right. Once again, thanks to Texas Roadhouse Wesley Chapel. Great steak place. Go get yourself some good steak there. And they have other things to suit, chicken and fish. They do it all for tremendously well. Kingmakers Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group, Genesis of Tampa. Go by and see them. Do a test drive. Win a trip to Ireland. Get $1,000 off if you buy a green car. All that good stuff going on.
And if you're in Haines City by a chance, the Murphy Auto Group also has Miracle Toyota over there in Haines City. It's going to stop on by. Great deal.
Yeah, they're doing all that green stuff too.
They're doing the green stuff over there too.
Yeah, that's it. They do that. And, since we are global, they do it in Augusta where we have.
Hello.
We got, you were just up there for that.
Just up there for a charity event.
They're everywhere doing great stuff. The Genesis of Tampa, Murphy Auto Group. All right. Have a great watch. What do we got on WBC tonight?
Big games, man. Well, the biggest one I told you is going to be Canada and Puerto Rico. Canada's trying to end Puerto Rico and slide in from the San Juan and knock out Team Communist Cuba. You know how I feel about that.
Get out of here.
Get out of here, Communist Cuba, until we free that. Until we free my old
Not for long,
country.
baby.
Then it'll be
They're
in
next on the list.
2029. They'll be monikered Team Free Cuba.
You might be coaching for them by then.
Hello.
Oh,
Stay tranquilo y tropical, por favor. Un beso.